What's going on, everyone? Welcome to a Sunday afternoon stream, depending on where you are, of course. Bit of a bonus stream, really. I don't tend to do this stream when it's an international break. There's a little bit to talk about, mostly around Mendy and Martial. That seems to be the big conversation in international break. So I'll do a quick stream, probably be a little... it'll probably be quicker than normal. Then there'll be the normal preview video during the week, and then another stream on Thursday. So back to normal on Thursday. There won't be many streams on a Sunday at 20 to 5 in the evening, but there we go. Hello and welcome. Still doing Movember. Just going to do a really quick shout out to the people that have donated since the last stream. There's been a couple, which I should have set up before I started the stream, really. Any international injuries? There's loads of international injuries. But people like Richarlison and that are not yellow flagged anymore. So who was the last one? I think... So I did Hamish K. I think I did them, and Gaz Hope. Thanks very much. Edward Moore, thank you very much. Mike Gascoigne and Scott Barry. All donated since the last stream. So if you've got a few quid to spare and you can donate towards Movember. The target's now €500. We're on 315. Link is in the description below. Otherwise, I'm going to click something here and get the music. My voice to be a bit louder. Okay. There we go. If that's too loud, let me know. You're 174th in the world. Very nice. Congratulations. FPL Rogue, what's up? Yeah, that's another thing, actually. Doing the streams at a little bit of a different time maybe means that people who don't usually tune in can tune in. It's 3:40 AM in Australia and you're still tuning in. Wow. Looking dapper. I mean, I would say looking stupid, worse than usual, but dapper, we'll go with that too. Thoughts on Fulham with Ranieri? I did see that tweet that said he's going to probably move to 4-4-2. That will bring another striker there into contention. But I mean, look, they've been pretty rubbish. Will Ranieri turn them straight around? We don't know. They're a monitor really with their fixtures. I don't think I'll be looking to bring them in straight away. Yes, he obviously won the league with Leicester, but let's see if he can turn them around first. I don't think you're going to miss out too much if you don't jump straight back on Fulham mids. Just about to tuck into bed. Must be good for Australians around. Let me put on this screen. Yeah, let's get to it. Okay, let's talk about Mendy. Let's talk about Martial. So this is probably my transfers this week. For anyone that was watching last week, I probably would have gone for Martial if I could have afforded it. I couldn't. So Mendy is he's given me a way in to get Martial. So we're not believing Martial's injury. I mean, I'm believing it enough that I've not bought him in yet, and I will wait until Jose Mourinho says something. But yeah, right now I'm happy enough with it that I'm going to get him. But I mean, do you know what I mean? We need to wait until the press conferences to absolutely lock stuff in. But I can't imagine most of the international break injuries are actually injuries, apart from Martial's, of course. Apart from Mendy's, of course. The Digne bandwagon is embarrassing. I mean, I feel like people are always all or nothing with these transfers. Like, some people are making out like Digne is going to be the best thing since sliced bread. He's absolutely not. But he's 4.8 million in the team that's kept, 3 clean sheets in the last 6 now? They've kept about a 50% clean sheet record against teams outside of the top 6. And they play 3 teams outside the top 6 in the next 4. So there's potentially 1 or 2 clean sheets there in 4 games. I'm only going to play him in 3 of them. So that's what I'm looking at. I don't have to go for him, though. I've got a bit more money. I could go for a Leicester defender. I could go for Shaw, Lindelof, Stones, potentially as well, to get on the Man City bandwagon. But yeah, I mean, Digne's not going to be played every week. I think I'm going to play him 4 times in the next 8 weeks or something like that. That's the plan, of course. I just think there's a good few clean sheets coming in the next 4. So that's the current plan. He's creating quite a few chances as well. He's cheap, 4.8 million. Lindelof, of course, the same price, but I'm not sure I can go there on Man United players just yet. Don't think it's a bad option, but with Baines hanging around over the festive period, don't you want to be a bit more nailed? I mean, yeah, potentially Baines could play, but it looks like Digne is the number one choice. So how many times is Baines really going to play? I don't think it's going to be... It's not going to get like the Spurs fullbacks where they used to be rotated every other week. I'm not sure it's going to be like that. So I'm looking at Digne, but to be honest, there's other players I like, Bellerin and Shaw. They're just not... It's not the right time. Like, Shaw is suspended this week. Bellerin's next 3 fixtures aren't great, and it's a long time to... 3 fixtures isn't that much, but it's a long time to not want to play someone. There's no point in bringing him in now. So I could go even cheaper. I could go for a West Ham defender or something, but I'm probably going to go for Digne. I mean, I've already got Ryan in goal, so probably not looking at bringing in another Brighton defender. I actually might switch out Ryan, though, at some point. May switch him to Leno. But no one ever wants to make a goalkeeper transfer. Martial or one of the Silvers. I mean, Man City attackers are always going to be good going. I mean, not conceding there. They're scoring an average of 3 goals a game this season, which is crazy. So they could be in the points. There's always going to be enough goals to go around. But the thing about City is anyone can score from their side, whereas Martial's kind of the man at Man United at the moment, who also has great fixtures. So I'm going to go for him for now, and hopefully he's going to be on penalties, even when Pogba's on the pitch. But we'll have to wait and see about that. If you didn't own Trent, would he be your Mendy replacement? No, I'm not sure he would, to be honest. I'm not even fully sure I'm going to keep him longer term. It'd be more interesting to see now what happens with Lovren and Gomez going forward. But he started the last few, which is encouraging. Obviously got that 11 pointer last time out. So yeah, I'm not sure if I would be bringing Trent in right now. Yeah, so Laporte. So I can't afford Laporte. I didn't actually realise that at first. I thought I could afford him, and I still decided I wasn't going to go for him. But now I've realised I can't afford him, especially now he's gone up to 6 million. So, I mean, I could get him obviously, and then not get Martial. But I think I just want to fund Martial. I just slowly but surely want to take money out of my defence and put it up front, and be a bit more flexible in changing attackers, which I'm probably going to want to jump on a lot as the season goes on and on. But I mean, Laporte looks fine. I don't know. I mean, he's obviously scored I think he scored 2 goals already, so it's not like he's got no goal threat. The thing with Man City defenders, they're not likely to pick up many bonus points because Man City score so many goals. So their attackers pick up all the bonus points. So the defenders have only got, I think Stones and Laporte have only got bonus points in like tougher games like Arsenal and Spurs and stuff. So the ceiling's quite low for Laporte, I think. They're going to probably 6 points. He's not likely to pick up any assists. He could get goals for sure, and that would really top him up. I just think for 6 million, like Laporte is just so unexciting. But fair play, he did have 5 or 6 weeks recently where he got 6 in a row, and 6 points per game for 6 million is not to be sniffed at. But for me, the difference between basically Laporte and a 5.6 million defender or less, which is what I'm going to go for, means I can get Martial, so it's worth the saving for me. It's worth not having that Man City defender. I could get Stones, who's played I think 4 or 5 in a row now. But he looks more likely to be rotated than Laporte, and for 5.3 million again, bit of goal threat maybe. Bonus potential if they don't score too many goals, but just not looking at it, to be honest. Only 1 asset from Man City. Do you think it's a bit low? I mean, you could look at it like that, given how many goals they scored. But you've got a match who you would bring in versus who you've already got. So it's all well and good saying I've only got 1, but who do I bring in and who do I take out? I could go for. Let me check how much they are. Like David Silva's more than Martial, so I can't afford him. What's Bernardo at these days? 7.5. So I could bring in Bernardo Silva versus Martial. I mean, do we think Bernardo Silva's going to heavily outscore Martial? I'm not so sure about that. And then again, I could go for Stones, but I'm probably just going to go for Digne and hope that in the games I actually want to play him, he can get me some points. Yeah, I mean, if you got Laporte for 5.5 million, you're kind of happy days right now. Yeah, Yerry Mina I do like, but there's no guarantee he plays, is there? That's the problem. He played in the last game. Zuma was out. I mean, you think the longer term Mina would be like a first choice defender, but it could just be Zuma and Keane again, and then you're kind of stuck with 5.4 million Mina. Is Martial worth it given how unpredictable Man United are? I mean, the thing is, Man United's fixtures are good, and he's been scoring pretty freely recently. So, I mean, I just think for his price, it's not much of a risk. Do you know what I mean? You're not. I said this, I think, on the last stream or last video. If you're bringing Martial in thinking he's going to score another 6 in the next 5, then you're probably going to be bitterly disappointed. But if you realise he's a £7.6 million player in what should be a good team and hopefully could improve over these good fixtures and just start playing a bit better, he looks to be pretty much nailed. For now, we'll concede that could change, but I think he'd have to make a few big mistakes for that. Could be on penalties too. It's just a good price, and I'm not that concerned about bringing him in right now. Mane is Martial plus 2 million. There you go. And if he does go wrong, you just transfer him out. It's not like you put Martial in and you have to have him for the rest of the season, whether he keeps playing or not. If Aguero's hamstring keeps him out, then it's Kane time. Could well be. What's he now? Is he 12.5? Harry Kane? He's 12.4. So if I get Digne, you don't really want Kane till Gameweek 15, though, that's the only thing. If I didn't get Digne, I could get like a 4.3 million defender, and then I'd have enough money for Aguero to Kane in one switch. Otherwise, I might downgrade Alexander-Arnold. But, do you know what I mean? I'll just play Aguero if he's fine. That moustache is getting there slowly, I know, very slowly. This is the problem. By the time, as someone pointed out on a video, which I fully agree with, by the time it's anywhere near ready, November will be over. But look, just think, I'm looking like an idiot. It's for charity. It's all good. Hey, look, Harry Kane, goal and assist today. Don't knock him. So you'll tweet about the Nation League. What is the point of England now having a second chance qualification if we will probably qualify anyway? I don't know what the deal is with the Nations League, to be honest. I've not read up on it. How long have I been running for? The stream has been going for about 10 or 15 minutes. In fact, I can just tell you. 17 minutes, apparently. That's how long it's been up for. Yeah, Leicester defenders, Chilwell and Pereira are both good options. Let me just double check their fixtures. Do I not have any Leicester players? I suppose not now. I got rid of Madison. Yeah, next 3 are okay, but then it gets tricky for them. Then they got Spurs, Chelsea, and Man City in the next 4. So a bit like Digne, I wouldn't want to play them all the time, so I'll probably just stick with him. Nice home fixtures. There is 4 polls, by the way, one of which is best Man City defender. So go and vote on them if you haven't already. Yedlin is a cheap defender. I can't remember who it was. I don't know if it was Ben McNair or Ben Krellin. But I think they were saying that Yedlin rotates quite nicely in the fixtures that Digne has tough ones. I don't dislike Trent as an option, but obviously he had those 2 games which he missed out on through rotation. Just worried that could happen again. But you're right, I mean, I probably shouldn't be so quick to sell him, especially after his 11-pointer. A lot of away games coming up, though. Literally in the next 6 fixtures, they only play Everton and Man United at home, so not sure how many clean sheets are there. But I think with Trent I'll just keep him. My defence is going to be pretty solid, I think. Mostly starters. Hopefully Wan-Bissaka will be fine. They got a lot of options week to week. Is Pickford the best goalkeeper under 5 million? I still like Fabianski. I think Ryan could still do okay. Leno as well, 4.8 million. So to answer your question, I wouldn't necessarily say, without looking into it a bit longer, that Pickford is the best. No. People sleeping on Dunk. I mean, he has done pretty well recently. There's got to be some own goals coming soon. Ings or Rondon? I think I'd still side with Danny Ings. Without double checking the fixtures. Fulham and X. I mean, it does get pretty tough actually after that for Ings. But I mean, Rondon to me always flatters to deceive. Like he'll score a few and then that'll be it. I think he did that with West Brom quite a bit. He scored 2 goals in the last game. I mean, the fixtures are better for Rondon if you wanted to take a punt. He's probably the better option fixture wise. What am I up to? I actually went looking at a wedding venue earlier, so I missed most of the England game. But still, it was a good win. So yeah, I mean, I'm basically streaming today because I happened to come back to the house and there's not much on. So gonna stream for a little bit and then then I go watch a movie or something. Just enjoy the rest of the international break, to be honest. What's the deal with Lovren? Pretty solid tonight, but not confident he'll start for Liverpool. Yeah, it's not even a confidence. Well, I suppose it is a confidence thing. We just don't know with Liverpool. It looked like maybe Lovren was in the side and that Gomez and Trent would swap around, but then Gomez came back into centre-back and Trent's gone back to right-back. And a lot of Liverpool fans seem to think that's their best back four anyway, so we'll see. But basically, yeah, not confident enough that Lovren will start week to week and not 100% convinced on Trent either. But let's see what happens over the next 4. Am I Irish? No. Do I have a prediction for top FPL scorer this season? My money is on Sterling. I actually did a predictions video on YouTube. I think. In fact, let me have a quick look. Let's see how badly it's doing so far. Let's have a quick look at the predictions I did. When did I do them? Oh, the start of the season, I guess. Oh yeah, FPL predictions. Let's have a look. I was wearing an England shirt. So top 6, I had top 6. I think most people had the same. Man City top, Liverpool second. I had Man United third though, Spurs fourth, and Chelsea and Arsenal 5th and 6th. Bottom 3: Fulham, Huddersfield, Cardiff. I mean, that's looking okay right now. And then most assists, De Bruyne. Didn't go well. Most clean sheets, Liverpool. I mean, that could still happen. And most goals, Harry Kane. And then for actual FPL points, Ederson, top keeper. Robertson, top defender. Salah, top midfielder. I didn't do highest overall scorer, but he would have been up there. And then Aubameyang, top striker. So we'll see what happens come the end of the season. I thought Kane would score more goals, but Aubameyang would make up the points with assists and stuff. And he is currently ahead of Kane. Probably scored more goals though too. Kane scored 6, Aubameyang scored 7. Okay, so pretty close. So we'll see what happens. I wasn't expecting Hazard to do as nuts as he was recently, but we'll see if he drops down a bit. Sané or Martial. I mean, it's the thing for me is we don't actually know if Sané is suddenly going to start playing loads because Mendy's out. It looks like it could happen for sure. But is he going to play 90 minutes week in, week out? We don't know. And he's 9.2 million, so it's not like he's cheap. So it all depends with a question like that. It all depends what you're going to do with the cash. But it's 1.6 million difference if you go for Martial. It's a lot of money to spend elsewhere. Colin Brown, first time watching live. How's it going? Digne is coming in for a hit, but it is to fund Martial, so I feel okay about that. It's a no for Sané on me. Yeah, I feel like Sané's just a bit too much money. I'm thinking about taking a hit. Someone asked me if I'm going to make this transfer tonight. No, definitely not. I'll wait till all the press conferences and stuff. How'd you get your team on the screen like that? Just do a screen grab. Kane or Aubameyang for the next 2 fixtures? That's a good question. Probably Aubameyang's going a bit under the radar. I mean, his best fixture comes in game week 16. He plays Man United away in game week 15. Started the last 3. I don't know. I'd probably go Kane, but again, you got to take into account the money. The thing with Kane is, he's going to be an 80 to 90 minute man. He's going to have penalties. He's got good fixtures. Yes, 12.5 million or 12.4 million is a lot of money over the course of the season for someone who hasn't performed right now. But if you get him in for a stretch of 6 to 7 games over Christmas, that's when you want him to do the business. And if he goes back quiet after that, then whatever, you just transfer him back out. So I do like Kane from game week 15 onwards, but for me, it's not a case of just bringing him in. It's having to remove Aguero or Salah, and do you know what I mean? They haven't done enough to convince me they need to go. And what I mean is they haven't performed badly, so they have to stay for now. Who am I trading out? It'll be Mendy and Ward. Let me show you my team for this week, as it stands currently. So it looks like that. I was actually going to play 4-3-3. I'll definitely play 3-4-3 with my transfers. That's originally what I was looking at playing. So Dean Garner just come in, being benched straight away. Captaincy's an interesting one. So because I know Salah and Aguero, people saying their away form's not great. I think fixtures has played a huge part in that. So I am still looking at captain Salah, because if I'm looking at between those two, I'm just going to side with the midfielder and probably go for Salah. Even though he has played in the international break where Aguero's, I don't think Aguero's in the Argentina squad. But I think because they're not standout options necessarily, and because they haven't, even though they've been doing well, they've possibly not been doing as well as last year, especially Salah. Although I do think up until this point in the season, he's not that far behind, to be honest. But Richarlison, yeah, I think if you're going to take a little bit of a punt any week, then this could be the week to do it. Because next week it's game week 14. Hazard has Fulham at home. You're definitely going to captain him in that. Unless Ranieri looks to have made them super solid in one game week. So yeah, Richarlison could be an option. You're right, yeah, against Cardiff. It's that, like, I think it was Simon March said, former FPL winner. That's the kind of captaincy decision that's going to take someone to win in the game, potentially. Making that different, cool. But I'm probably going to go Salah. Maybe I don't want to win this thing. Do I like Camarasa of Cardiff? I think for his price, he's one of the better options. Let's just say that. I mean, I don't know if he's like 4th midfielder material or anything like that. But yeah, he's looked decent enough for a Cardiff player, but do you know what I mean? He's 4.5, plays for Cardiff. I mean, there's a reason he's that price. So I wouldn't expect lots from him every week. But then again, for that price, don't necessarily need it. And if that lets you make a big upgrade elsewhere, then you could go for it. Pounds or hazard signs? I'm going to go for hazard signs. Who is your FFS Cup first round opponent? I didn't sign up, so I don't think I'm in. Do I plan to get Sterling? Not right now, no. Because, again, I'd have to take out Aguero, Hazard and Salah. And who do I take out? I mean, Salah... Taking out Salah would obviously give me some funds. I could get Sterling in, but he's just not done enough to convince me I need to sell him. That doesn't even sound right. Not done enough to convince me to sell him. Not done enough bad stuff. And yeah, speaking of Richarlison captain, fair point, Visak. Martial could also be a differential captain this week. The only thing is, he plays if he's fit, he plays Wan-Bissaka. And Wan-Bissaka makes a lot of tackles. He's going to be playing on that right side, and Martial's going to be on the left, so could keep him quiet potentially. How come I decided to stream? Just had some free time. There was a bit to talk about as well, because sometimes sometimes you go into an international break, nothing really happens. There's lots of yellow flags, but you have to wait for the press conferences, and we'll have to do that with Martial. But we know that Mendy's out, so there's a bit to talk about. So I thought I'd do a quick stream. It won't be as long probably as the others. We'll just see how it goes. Aguero is a lost cause. You have to explain that one. Yeah, I think as okay as I think Digne is, I think if you've not got Doherty from Wolves, he's probably the higher priority for me. How long is Mendy out for? I don't actually know, but I think I heard, or I think I read about New Year. Let's see what it says unknown on FPL. I'm pretty sure they said it could be out to the New Year, but De Bruyne's potentially back in the next game. So Man City seem to be able to work miracles with injuries. Am I not afraid that Mendy will drop in price? I don't really care, to be honest. I'd rather lose 0.1 million and have... Do you know what I mean? What if I transfer him to Digne and then Digne gets injured, or Martial's actually... Jose comes and says, actually, Martial's going to be out for a couple of weeks. Then I've made a transfer, I've saved 0.1 million, but I've got one or two players that are no good to me. It's just not worth it. In my opinion. If he drops in price, I'm going to lose. It's really annoying because I got him for 6.4, so it's not like he's dropping back to the price I got him. I will lose 0.1 million, but whatever. Yeah, kind of already spoke about Yerry Mina briefly. I like him, but for 5.4 million, if I'm going to bring him in, I want to know 100% that he's going to start. Basically. Yeah, Kane is an option. I've not, probably worth saying, I've not, do you know what I mean? I've not made the transfer, so I could still change my mind on Digne. It's not, like I said, I don't think he's suddenly the best thing since sliced bread and that he's an absolute must or anything like that. I can be convinced otherwise. And Keane has obviously scored a few already this season. I think he's a little bit better for bonus as well, Keane. And obviously he's only 0.1 million more, so... But who knows? Maybe they go for Mina and Zuma in centre-back and Keane misses out. Or maybe they go back three. And then Digne's a left wing-back, and maybe that's even better. A West Ham asset's worth considering. I think still, yes. I don't think you can write them off just yet. I still think Arnautovic, Felipe Anderson are good. Dean Garner, maybe that bandwagon's sailed already just because he came off at half-time, which was not good in the last game. But obviously they play Man City this week, so you're not really looking at them this week. Is this a good time to sell Wilson and bring in Jimenez? Look, I think it's very easy for me to say yes because I don't own Wilson. So if it goes wrong, it's not going to hurt me. I just think Wilson and Fraser and Brooks have done really well, and Bournemouth have done really well, but they've had a pretty good run of fixtures. They have played Chelsea and Man United. Obviously only scored one goal against Man United and conceded. I just think if the points are going to dry up for those players, it's going to be this week. Now, Fraser, if you got him cheap, if you've got him for like 5.5 million, then I don't know if there's a reason to move him on. And Wilson the same. If you got Wilson for 6, then I can see why you maybe look at keeping them. But if the points are gonna dry out for a period of the season, it's gonna be now going into Christmas, tough fixtures. I think they play 5 or 6 top 6 teams in the next 9. I'm just not convinced they'll score that many points over this period. But if you got Wilson for 6, 6.1 or 6.2, whatever it was, then he doesn't necessarily need to score every week to match that price. But yeah, it's Arsenal, Man City, Liverpool, Spurs and Man United in the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the next 8 games. So 5 top 6 teams in the next 8. Now, to be fair, the other games are pretty good. Huddersfield and Brighton at home, Wolves away. So I don't think they're must-sells, but if Wilson to Jimenez lets you upgrade elsewhere and do a big upgrade that you want to do, I don't think it's the worst move. I think you've got to be prepared that it could backfire a bit. But yeah, as FPL Classico says, very good value for money. They have been, yeah. But what you got to think with FPL is, yes, of course they've done really well. You've either missed those points or you've got those points. Either way, those points are gone now. Is he going to keep those points up with 5 top 6 teams in the next 8? That's what you need to ask yourself. And 3 in the next 4: Arsenal, Man City, Liverpool. Yes, Arsenal, Liverpool are at home, but they're going to be tough games. Yeah, exactly as Chris says. It could be, you could see it as a don't buy, don't sell. I mean, Fraser, like I say, 5.5. That's great fourth midfielder material. I'd keep Fraser but sell Wilson. Yeah, a few people saying that. I think Fraser's probably an easier keep because there's more midfield slots. And he was probably cheaper. What formation am I going to play this week? Probably 3-4-3. Is Hazard a must-have? I mean, he hasn't looked like that recently. I'm not sure many or any players are must-haves, to be honest. If you haven't already got him, you're probably not going to bring him in against Spurs away, but he does have Fulham at home next week, which could be great, in game week 14. Don't forget, vote on those polls if you haven't already. We got Trent Alexander-Arnold, keep or sell. Is Martial a good pick? Best, still a good pick, that should be. Best Mendy replacement, and then game week 13 captain. Yeah, Patterson at Cardiff, what was he, 5.2? I mean, he's a bit like Camarasa. I think you got that right. Do you know what I mean? It's Cardiff. They got okay fixtures. I don't know if there's... I mean, you're not going to rush to bring Cardiff assets. But yeah, I mean, for 5.2 million, is he going up to 5.3 yet? Let's have a quick look. Just want to double check their fixtures as well. I know he's still 5.2. So he's been in a pretty good run of form. A few goals in the last couple of fixtures. Fixtures are okay. I mean, he's playing out of position. Yeah, I mean, he's a good punt. It could be a fourth midfielder. I mean, for 5.2, you're probably not going to want to bring him as your fifth. And he would allow you to put funds in elsewhere. But I think I think a lot of people, they bring in a player like that, a 5.2 million Cardiff player, and they expect a goal every game. It's just not going to happen. So you got to ride that out. I mean, I had Atsu last year. He was like 5.5 or 5 million, something like that. And if he got an assist or something every 3 games, I was pretty happy. And Patterson looks like he could do that. Goal every 3 games, potentially at the moment. It's all you kind of need for that price. Has the Felipe Anderson bandwagon already started or ended? It's kind of somewhere in the middle because there was a little bit of a bandwagon last week, but then it didn't really take off. But then he scored, so people want him, but tough fixture this week. Our new channel member, Howard Wallowitz. Thanks very much, my man. I actually need to sort that out a bit. I was thinking about sprucing that up a bit, maybe. Yeah, channel membership. I'll have a look into that. Need some custom emotes and stuff. I need someone to design me some. Get in touch if you can design them. Do I reckon Lingard will bring his international form to a Man United team? I wish Lingard was playing. But I mean, the short answer for that is we just don't know if he's going to start. So you can't bring in Lingard right now. What would make you sell Arnautovic if he was injured? I know there's all this talk about how he doesn't want to be at West Ham in January apparently, but I mean, I'm not going to worry about that. He's going to keep playing. You miss your no coverage icon. Yeah, I need to get some proper ones designed. Go big in midfield with Hazard, Salah, and Salah. I mean, they'll get you points for sure. Not sure if you can do that and Aguero, but Sterling instead of Aguero, I think it's pretty much of a much. Lindelof or Smalling, who's more nailed on? Oh, don't even know. I don't even know, to be honest. I would say probably Lindelof. I feel like if Jose is going to bring in another defender like Bailly or someone, then he would pair him with Lindelof, not Smalling. But I wouldn't put much money on that. If Martial was not playing for Jose, I'd get him in a heartbeat. I mean, that same Martial that scored 6 in 5 under Jose, so I mean, sure, he's not going to keep that up, but is Lindelof worth it at 4.8? So I've looked at Man United defenders. I mean, been awful, right? Been awful this year, clean sheet wise, Man United. Again, though, that's happened. That's already happened. Now we're looking ahead. And ahead, they've got Palace, Southampton and Fulham in the next 4. Surely there is 2 clean sheets in that somewhere. Even for Lindelof and Shaw and Smalling and Young. And then after that, you've got Liverpool's going to be really tough. But then Cardiff, Huddersfield and Bournemouth. That's all the fixtures up until the new year. You would think that somewhere there's clean sheets. But because Man United have been so awful, I even find it hard to justify bringing them in. And the thing is, the really nice ones, Fulham, Cardiff, Huddersfield and Bournemouth from game week 16. So, well, I'm okay having Martial for Palace and Southampton. Clean sheet-wise, I think starting from game week 16 is probably a little bit better. Because you've got 4 really good fixtures in 5. And I think I would prefer Shaw to Lindelof. But he's 4.8 million. Like, is Lindelof going to score that much less than Digne? I'm not convinced, to be honest. I think Man United... This is one of those times where Man United defenders are not usually this low owned, right? With these good fixtures coming. I mean, that could be a differential in itself. And maybe this is the time to step on. I mean, Digne is very low owned, to be fair. It looks like... Digne looks like a really good... like, obviously, it looks like everyone's going to own him if you look at Twitter and stuff. But, I mean, realistically, he's very low owned. So he's a good differential too. Yeah, Shaw suspended for this week. But yeah, Lindelof, I'm not completely against it. I've just got this slight worry that the Mourinho mixes up the defence at some point. Maybe brings Rojo in to play on the left or something like that. No bonus points for Lindelof all season, but then not many clean sheets, to be fair. It's not really optimism, but I mean, you just got to look at the fixtures and you just got to think, if Man United are going to keep clean sheets, I mean, if you look from now until game week 24, there's some really nice... We play Burnley at home, all these fixtures are at home. Palace, Fulham, Huddersfield, Bournemouth, Brighton, Burnley. They all get played by game week 24. And then away games include Southampton, Cardiff, Newcastle... Then the really tricky ones there are Arsenal at home, Liverpool away and Spurs away. So that's in, well, like 11 game weeks? 12 game weeks. I mean, that's a really nice run of fixtures. Is Lindelof injured? Oh, well, I'm shutting up then. I haven't seen that. Yeah, someone pointed out about my bench. So this week I will have another defender in. Maybe Digne, maybe Shaw, Lindelof, whoever it might be. And Ward will be replaced by Martial. So then my bench is Diangana. Okay, we'll see if he keeps his place. If he does, then we're sorted. Wan-Bissaka, hopefully he'll be fine. And then one of Trent or Doherty. Or Digne, whoever it is. So I think that bench is actually pretty good. Ryan should be fine because he should play every game anyway. So I think my bench is looking okay. And I don't know if it was last season or the season before... but we worried about rotation a lot. I think it was the season before when there was a huge fixture pile-up and there's hardly any rotation. We didn't really need all 3 players that often at all. So I'm not too concerned right now. My total points are 803. 803. We'll do the polls in a couple of minutes. If you haven't already voted, make sure to get your votes in now. We'll get it done. Is it too late to bring Salah in? Too late to bring him in. It depends who you're bringing him in for. I mean, the fixtures are okay, but there's a lot of away ones in there. I don't think it's too late. No, but you have just missed a really good run, though. Don't ruin your great start by bringing in players from your favourite team. I think Martial is fine. It's really just Digne versus Stones versus Lindelof versus Shaw versus Keane. Like, there's so many options to bring in for Mendy. It's actually quite refreshing to have so many options to choose from. Is it too late now to say Salah? I like it, Carl. Is tripling up on West Ham suggested? I mean, I think it's okay to have a defender and an attacker. I mean, Arnautovic and Felipe Anderson, how many goals are West Ham going to score? I mean, they're both form players, though, for their price. I know there's a lot of thinking around, you know, you double up on a team, will there be enough goals to go around? But, you know, Anderson assists Arnautovic, you're laughing, or vice versa. And that could easily happen with them both being in pretty good form. So I don't think it's the end of the world. When should you use your wildcard for the double game week? Well, just remember that your first wildcard has to be used before Christmas. The second wildcard, which you could use for the double game week, can only be used after Christmas. So if you've not used your first one yet, you've got to use that before any double game weeks anyway. What's up, Alex? How's it going? Yeah, I mean, I will say it is great that people will be able to tune in because of the earlier stream, but I would also say it's not likely to happen that much more. I would love to, but as you can imagine, this time on a Sunday is not always the easiest time to be streaming in UK time. What's the best way to rack up green arrows if you're at 2 million? Bring in players that are going to score points. It's the best way. I wouldn't... I mean, you could start looking at a few differentials, but you'd be surprised that even picking like template options would still bring you up the ranks. Don't feel like you've got to go completely different. Ryan goes away to play in the Asia Games in January. Yeah, that's a potentially a concern if Button is still injured, but I would just make the switch if I have to. And I'll decide at the time. Leno would probably be top of my list right now. Top 6 goalie for 4.8 million. Don't want to turn my nose up at that too much. Yeah, I'm doing good, Alex. You like my moves? Jimmy heading back to Wall. Yeah, Jimenez apparently has travelled back early from international break. So, yeah, decent. Difference between Patreon. Oh, let me do the Patreon shoutouts. Thanks for the reminder, Howard. The producers: Dean P, Madcheck, Alex C, Melissa B, Matthew H, Hayden H, and Christopher M. Thank you very much. If you want to check that out, links in the description below. Thanks for all the continued support from anyone who's currently signed up to that. What's the difference? I've not really said. You get the funky name for the channel members. There's a bit more for Patreon. You can check it out on the link below. I'll show you. Do I want a wildcard at Christmas? I mean, I'm not in any rush because I don't have my first wildcard. So I'll probably wait till the double game weeks. In and around the double game weeks. Not necessarily for a double game week, but it will definitely be used. Definitely used as part of the overall strategy around the doubles. Arsenal's fixtures improved from game week 16. Do you plan on getting any Gunners in? So I think there's 2 fixture swings around then. Excuse me. Hang on. Yeah, there's 2 fixture swings. There's 16 is Arsenal, 15 is Spurs. So I've basically got like a rough, an eye on those fixtures and an eye on potentially those players. But I've got no concrete set in stone plans to get their players because Bellerin I talked about. I could get him in for Mendy and still afford Martial, but then it's Bournemouth away and then 2 tough fixtures before the fixture swing, so I wouldn't bring him in. Then who knows if I'll need him in game week 15 or game week 16. Ozil, Aubameyang, they could be okay, but who am I replacing from my current team? And FPL changes quickly. By game week 15, 16, there could be, maybe Aguero's picked up an injury or Salah looks out of form and maybe I make some money there to bring them in. But right now I'm not looking at specifically bringing in any of their players. I'm keeping an eye on the fixtures. I know they're coming. And I know they've potentially got loads of options. Do you know what I mean? Ali, Ericsson, Kane, Trippier. Obviously, that's the Spurs guys, not the Arsenal ones. But yeah, no plans to bring him in right now. But definitely looking, because do you know what I mean? In a couple of weeks' time, Kane might look great and have good fixtures and be a nailed-on captain over the summer, over Christmas. And suddenly, I want him in my team. Any update surrounding Doherty? Not that I've seen. Someone else might have. Anyway, let's do the polls real quick. Okay, so Trent Alexander-Arnold, keep or sell? 67% saying keep. I think that's what I'm going to do, even though I'm not, fully confident about his starting place. But I think that's if you've got him, that's what you have to do. Is Martial still a good pick? 70% saying yes. So looking at the form, looking at the fixtures, people loving Martial. Good price, not too much risk. Best Mendy replacement that's not Robertson or Alonso, because I could have put one there, they would have been really high. 35% say Doherty. Now, obviously these are sometimes skewed by who people are bringing in, and if you're like me, you can't afford Laporte. But yeah, best Mendy replacement, you guys are saying 35% Doherty, he's top. Followed closely by 34% Laporte. And then 14% for Digne, 7% for Stones, and then 8% for someone else. So Doherty winning it. Everyone loving Doherty for obvious reasons. Looks very attacking. Good 2 fixtures coming up. And an early look at Game Week 13 captain. 49% on Salah, 21% on Aguero, 9% Sterling, 2% Hazard, and then 17% on somebody else. So Salah quite far ahead. And that's probably who I will stick with. To be honest. Right, I think I'm going to leave it there. Like, I was aiming for a bit of a shorter stream. It has been a little bit shorter. It's Sunday afternoon bonus stream. I wasn't going to do this one. But there we go. There'll be a preview early this week, and then I'll do the normal streams on Thursday. And then we're back to normal then until Christmas, when it all goes a bit pear-shaped again because of the amount of game weeks. But look, the international breaks are pretty much over at this point. Chill out, enjoy the rest of your weekend, enjoy the rest of your week before the deadline. We'll be waiting for press conferences on Thursday and Friday to fully lock in teams, but I think, well, I know I'm going to do Mendy and Ward to Martial plus a defender. We'll just have to decide if we definitely want Digne or not. Give the video a like if you haven't already. If you've enjoyed the stream, it'd be much appreciated. Subscribe if you're new around here. We are closing in on 25,000 subscribers, which is awesome. Check out Patreon in the link below if you'd like. And if you've got a few quid to spare, donate for me having this awful moustache, which, as someone's pointed out, not properly joined in the middle. I just look like an idiot, but it's for charity. So happy days. I will see you soon. Thanks for tuning in.